There's no way silver will ever hit $50 an ounce. You're crazy. Sure, we've heard that a lot, but do you believe in $50 silver? Is it just you and me, or are there more people? And there are top analysts. $50 is becoming a very popular number to mention when talking about the silver price. We're going to talk about the reasons why in this video live stream. And this morning I was shaving. I hadn't had a chance to look at the silver price. I shave back over there about once a week, as many of you have noticed. And look what happened. Somebody showed up at my little shaving station, Pippi the silver cat, who many of you know. And I asked her, I said, Pippi, what's going on with the silver price this morning? I haven't had a chance to look. And that's what she did. She got rather excited when I asked her about the silver price, and rightfully so, because let's run out here, guys, and take a look. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm not prepared. Bear with me. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. We're having some technical issues here. Hello? Hello. All right, let's try this again. And here we go. The joys of live streaming. Here we go. Let's go out to Pimbex and take a look. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to do an update here, guys, but no wonder Pippi the silver cat was so excited. Remember, we're going to talk about $50 silver in this video. We've got numerous top analysts telling us that $50 is the new number, but let's do an update. We're going to press the Pimbex magic button. Silver is up 75 cents per ounce. We're doing it, guys. We are doing it. Sure, we could drop back down. Remember, 32.50 is the line in the sand. That's where the next battle, if we do go down, would occur. But we really could continue to march higher and higher. But 32.50 being the kind of the key round number that we broke through to get to this new high has changed from being the resistance level that took us a little while to get through to now being a support level. So thank you to Pimbex while we're here for sponsoring Ron's Basement. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later a comment about Pimbex that I got from one of our viewers, but they make the basement possible. Pimbex, P-I-M-B-E-X, online bullion dealer where you can get gold, silver, platinum group metals at prices that are always almost impossible to beat. That's one of the things I like about Pimbex. The other is great selection, and what's paramount, right, that it's a company that you can trust. I'll never tell you what to do, but I would recommend to you that you may benefit next time you're thinking about buying some precious metals to checking out Pimbex. And again, I've got a great comment I'm going to share with you later from one of our viewers. Here, let's take a quick look at this. This is what's going on right now in the gold and silver market. Then we're going to get down to some serious business, serious information regarding, hold on here. I think I got a text from Susie. Okay, yes, hold on. Oh, boy, we're having some issues this morning. Oh, wow, super chat. Okay, thank you, Art, for that. Thank you, Art Jogo, super sticker. Thank you, my friend. Okay, let's go out. Here, one more fun little thing, and then we're going to get down to serious business. This, my friends, is what's going on. This came from Wall Street Silver in the silver market right now. See the big paper silver monster? And there's $34, and we are doing it. We are doing it. So let's take stock of where we are right now. I want to go. Oh man, there's so much going on. Need to slow down. Silver and gold, right, are just on an absolute tear right now. It's hard to process everything that's happening, but I want to show you an interesting chart because I was getting some flack about this. Here we go. Okay, guys, this is a chart of silver that goes all the way back to 1980. Okay, we've looked at this a zillion times, right? The giant cup and handle. We know that. The green line is $33.78. We know we're actually a little higher than this right now. This chart comes from silverprice.org, and I actually pulled it off of a Substack post from our good friend Chris Marcus. at our Arcadia Economics. Do check out his Substack. Trust me, you will benefit from that. But what I want to point out on this chart, everybody talks about the $50 high. Look, 50 is a big number for silver, no doubt about it. But I will argue right now that we are, for all, I hate to use the saying again, intents and purposes, we already are at new all-time highs for silver. Look, how much time do you think that silver, we know that silver's higher right now than it's been in 12 years. We're at a 12-year high. But look at the small amount of time. Maybe that's about 9 months back in 2011, that silver was higher than it was right now. And back in 1980, maybe it was higher for another 3 months. We're talking about 1 year out of 50 years. And if we go back further on this chart, let's just say we go back 100 years, in total over the last 100 years, silver's only been higher than where it is right now for 1 year. That means that silver's only been higher like 1% of the time over the last 100 years, 2% of the time over the last 50 years. There aren't a lot of people who bought silver up above where we are now. Somebody challenged me yesterday and said, well, there's a lot of people who bought silver at $40. No, there's not. I'm sorry. I disagree with that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe but there's not, guys. There's not. Look at this one more time, very quickly, and look at that green line and look, the period amount of time that silver's been higher than this. I'm calling it right now. We're at all-time high for silver. It's just, there just aren't a lot of people sitting out there who bought silver at $45 who are waiting for that to sell. Okay. Now, let's go over to see what James Turk, and one of the recognized names in the silver industry, is saying about $50 silver. This comes from, and I know I have another super chat. Hold on here. Let me check this one out. Michael J, just a tip for saving me some money. You're welcome. I guess you bought some silver and gold from Pimbex. Thank you, Michael. Okay, guys, let's go out to this article about $50 silver. This comes from King World News. James Turk says $50 plus silver is days or weeks away, not months. Days or weeks. And it's feeling that way today. But remember, anything can happen. But let's see why. Record highs for gold, silver about to launch. He says, what I find noteworthy about all these record highs in gold is the lack of excitement normally seen at bull market tops. And isn't that true, guys? And that's a good thing. The world has, and the United States investors have really yet to get excited about gold. And silver, if we were sitting where we are right now with $2,740, $50 gold and $34 silver, and everybody was all excited about it, that could be the sign of a top. Like the days when, the shoe shine boy and the Uber driver are talking about, that would be a sign of a top. The fact that we're not there yet, that means there's still so much more potential room for the precious metals prices to run. Okay, few people are paying attention. That usually means, well, that's what he says. Excuse me, a bull market has much further to run, from which we can presume that gold at 2,700 is still early in the uptrend. So today looks like the early stage of another great bull market in gold and silver I've lived through since 1971. This guy's been around for a while. Where we are now is like $45 in 1971 for gold, on its way to $200 2 years later, right? More than a 4 times increase. Or $100 in 1976, $100 gold in 1976, then climbing to its 1980 high of $850, or $340 in 2002, which then ran up all the way to $1,900 per ounce in 2011 after the great financial crisis. The current uptrend began, and this is a great example, another great example of why we can be so excited about the silver and gold price. The current uptrend began in November of 2023. not even a year ago, when gold finally hurdled 2000 into new record highs. Since then, it's been a stair step its way higher to new records, as we can see on this chart. And that's so critical, guys. And the same thing with silver. And haven't we talked about this? This is not like we've had a spike rocket ship, straight up price movement in both gold and silver. It's been a very steady stair step up, which is a good thing because of this. As it stair steps higher, the people who want to get out, right? The weak hands, the people who think, oh, $2,200 gold, or, oh, silver broke $30. I'm going to sell. Those people have already gotten out. That is such an important thing, such a positive, critical factor for the rally that we're seeing in both gold and silver. And you can see, right, in these red areas, that's the stair step up. We're continuing to move up little by little. Let's get to the silver part. Silver. Right now, silver is far from its $50 record reached in 1980 and again in 2011, but I am expecting a new record high soon. I've updated the same chart of silver's weekly closing price that is now familiar to King World News readers, with one small change to explain my thinking. It's a log scale chart to compare past percentage gains to potential future gains. And there it is there. There we see, right? The inverse head and shoulders. Okay. The post breakout red arrow on the left side of the chart indicates potential massive upside gains for silver. This is where we are, and this is where we're breaking out. I've added the red arrow to highlight what happened in 2020. We'll see if a similar percentage gain is possible in the weeks ahead. It's a projection, not a prediction, of course, based on premise that sometimes history repeats. There's a potential for a repeat because silver is being relentlessly accumulated by strong hands. That's you and me, but also hedge funds, Russia, Chinese citizens, okay, resulting in this huge multi-year base of support. Silver is now breaking out from the base as well as a reverse head and shoulders pattern, one of the most reliable of all chart patterns, not to mention the 50-year cup and handle. With Friday's new 12-year high closing price, silver has chewed through minor resistance at $32, a level first reached this past May. Silver is now set up to rocket higher like it did in 2020 for one all-important reason. The demand for physical metal is gaining the upper hand over the short sellers in the paper market, attempting to tamp down the price. Is that what we're seeing again this morning? We're going to run out and do an update here in a few seconds on the price. Inevitably, physical trumps paper because a real thing is more valuable and useful than just a promise to deliver a real thing at some future date. Okay, so there we have it, guys. $50 silver. Oh, wrong screen. There we have it, guys. Now I'm back. $50 silver. By the way, I forgot to tell you the big news, the most important thing, and that is that you decided, that you chose to be here with us this morning. Welcome to the basement, everyone. Welcome, basement dwellers. It's a big deal you're here. We appreciate you. Please, we have the free subscription deal still going. You can subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications. You can give this a thumbs up. That helps get the word out to more and more people. Super chat, super thanks, PayPal donations are always appreciated, but never expected. Please never donate any money that you cannot afford. Let's go out and check on, we got to do some big checks today on the gold and silver price. Come on, baby. Okay, silver up 53 cents. Look, we're going to have volatility, guys. It is going to happen. Let's run out to China and our friend the Oriental Ghost and see what the silver price is doing in China. This is the data as of this morning on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and we emphasize the high because the price for silver in Shanghai is always higher than on the COMEX and the LBMA. And why is that important? Because like Mr. Turk just said, the market in China, the SGE, that's the Shanghai Gold Exchange, is a physical market. Imagine that. You got to actually have the physical metal if you want to trade it in China. And in the physical Shanghai Gold Exchange, there's silver AG on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, $36.23. Oh my gosh. Let's just check on our friend, the Oriental Ghost, and see what else he's up to. Here we go. Silver. Who wants to be the cherry on top? There's the 45-year cup and handle yet again. We can't look at that too often now, can we? Okay. There's Bald Guy Money. There he is. All right. Silver to 60. We'll have to check that one out later. Whatever happens, you will get silver at the price you deserve. Bull market, Bald Guy round 2. All right. There's our friend, Bald Guy Money. Okay. Let's go back here. Never know who you're going to run into on Twitter. Good company. Yes. Great company. What about Jesse Colombo? Have you heard of him? He's like the shooting star, I would say, within the silver and gold sector. This guy has made some really great predictions. What is he saying about silver? You might just be shocked. Let's go out and see what Jesse is saying. And this comes from his Substack, but hold on here. I also saw this on Zero Hedge. This is his Substack is called the Bubble Report. It's growing like crazy. So is Chris Marcus, Arcadia Economics Substack. This are great places to get information. Jesse, and there he is up in the corner, says the silver squeeze has officially begun. Silver squeeze. He's saying it. Don't forget, guys, not many people are saying it, but the silver squeeze has officially begun. He says, for the past several weeks, I've been writing articles and creating video presentations about an imminent silver breakout that could quickly push prices to $50. Everybody's suddenly talking about $50 silver. During this time, I've observed significant investor cynicism. Yes, us basement dwellers, we know that feeling, as many grew frustrated with silver's sideways movement over the past 5 months. So I'm going to go through his highlights here. Sure enough, on Friday, what began as a typical day saw silver surge nearly 7%, meeting the criteria I had outlined to confirm the next phase of this bull market, of its bull market for silver. Silver is in new territory, guys. I need to look at you and say this. For now, silver is in new territory. I know silver investors, Lawrence Leopard likes to call it the battered bull syndrome. Like, we got beat up, right? We got the rug pulled so many times that maybe you're having a hard time accepting the fact that we are in new territory. Remember, do you remember the 70s? Silver went from $1.50 per ounce all the way to ding, 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 $50 per ounce by 1980. Okay. What we're talking about right now is silver going from $34 per ounce to $50 per ounce. We're going to take this in baby steps, but boy, oh boy, right? We got to be open to the fact that just what if silver, I'm going to ask you this question. What if silver just did 1/3 of the return that it did from 1970 to 1980, right? That would probably be 230, 240 easy dollar silver per ounce. Okay. This can happen. Take a deep breath with me. I know I get really excited. I have high blood pressure, all that fun, but this, my friends, can happen. All right, let's go back to Jesse. Enough of me. You guys want to hear what Jesse has to say. We love you, Jesse. All right. So these are some of the reasons. Boom. Okay. The key criterion I outlined to confirm the next leg of silver's rally was simple, yet widely overlooked by investors and surprisingly difficult to achieve. The spot price of silver must decisively close above $32.50 resistance level, supported by strong trading volume. That was the high set in May, after which silver retreated and stagnated over the summer. Silver made many attempts to break through this level on September 26, October 4th, but both attempts failed, resulting in further pullbacks. Silver's impressive $2 per ounce surge just 3 days ago, guys, accompanied by trading volume more than double the prior week's average, definitively fulfills that criterion. A caveat to consider is that if silver closes back below 3250 resistance level, it would invalidate Friday's bullish signal. However, I find that scenario unlikely. So what he is saying, as we've talked about now a couple times, $32.50 silver in the spot market is the line in the sand. Okay. If we get back there and we go below it, that's not a good thing for the silver price. However, since that was resistance, that will now become support. Does it feel like to you? It feels like to me that if silver drops back down to that 32 range, that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to buy some silver. I just have a feeling there'd be a lot of buyers of silver. All right, now we'll just go through the highlights. It's likely that a good portion of the volume came from traders scrambling to cover their short positions, a topic I'll explore in greater detail a little bit later in this article. Guys, we've talked about this massive short position in the silver market. We hear some reports of 300 million ounces. I've heard reports as high as 700 million ounces. That is paper, make-believe, unicorn fart dust, whatever you want to call it, fantasy island silver. That is not real silver. That is not the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which is a physical market. You need to have no, that is COMEX and LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, where they create fake, artificial, synthetic silver and sell it. That's a big deal, because if these shorts, right, if these shorts get in trouble, we could see happen in the silver market what happened in the nickel market. The nickel, the price of nickel, the metal nickel that's used in industry and used in, I think, in nickels, but anyway, it exploded. Okay, when they had their short squeeze, they had to shut her down. No more, no mas, we're done. That exact same thing can happen in the silver market, right? It's called the short squeeze. Remember the silver squeeze? We all seem to have forgotten about that. Like, well, we won't. No, it can happen. It can happen. Let's go back out to Jesse. I like Jesse. Okay. Wow, there's the volume. Look at that. Let me see if I can pull that up. Look at that. Okay. Huge volume equals shortcut. Look at that volume. That was on Friday, right? Yes. Woof. Look at how all those big green bars. That's the amount of silver that was traded. Compare that back to like what happened earlier in the week. Man. Wow. Okay. The next condition I outlined, this is interesting. Was that silver priced in euros, right? The European, but they use the currency they use. We have dollars, they have euros, must decisively close above the 30 euro resistance level, which was established at the May peak. I stated that this event would help confirm the close above 32.50 US dollars, greatly reducing the chances of it being a false breakout. I find it valuable to analyze silver priced in euros, as this approach removes the impact of US dollar fluctuation. So independent of currency fluctuations, we're also seeing this breakout in euros as well. Okay. And then he says, usually the silver price in euros often respects round numbers, frequently establishing key support. So it finally did break out. There's a chart of that. Wow, everywhere. Look at that. Woo, looks like we got up to 31 euros. Okay. Fine. The final condition I listed is more esoteric, but I believe it will significantly reduce the likelihood of a silver breakout being a false one. An index he developed called the Synthetic Silver Price Index must close above its key resistance zone between 2560 and 2640. This index represents the average of gold and copper prices, with copper's price adjusted by a factor of 540 to prevent gold's higher price from disproportionately influencing the index. Blah, blah, blah. Although the synthetic silver price index didn't break out on Friday, it still posted a solid 1.21% gain. He says, given the sheer strength of silver's breakout, I'm choosing to overlook this criterion for now. I expect a breakout in this index is still forthcoming, which will further validate silver's rally and likely provide additional momentum to its current upward trajectory. Okay. By every measure, gold is in a confirmed uptrend. This is speaking about gold, and I believe it's on track to reach $3,000 in the near future. Look at the gold chart. Wow. And he shows breakouts in the gold price as well, right? 2680, 2520. So this guy is garnering much respect and attention within the precious metals arena. Talks about copper, and copper's important, okay, because silver has been very much correlated. The moves in copper and silver have been very similar as of late. So let's just read this. The price of copper is often underappreciated factor in silver's performance. As I recently explained, copper's recent decline has weighed on silver. So silver was strong in the face of the copper market encountering some challenges, but there's still a strong likelihood that it will find support around the $4.25 level, that's copper, and bounce from there. This rebound should provide an extra boost to silver's rally. And then he talks about the silver miners, and they're starting to break out. Okay. Everything's breaking out. Everything's moving in the right direction for us, guys, within the silver and gold market. Are you feeling it? Do you invest in the mining stocks? I'm invested heavily into the precious metal mining stocks, and I can tell you it feels like we're moving into a very favorable zone. And why is that important to you? Even if you don't own silver and gold mining stocks, because when these silver and gold mining stocks do take off, it's going to garner attention into the precious metals sector as a whole. That's why. Okay, it's a big deal. What else is going on? So we got King World News, James Turk, $50 silver. We have Jesse Colombo, $50 silver. Let's go to the Silver Academy and see what they're saying about silver. You know what? Before we do that, let's go back to our friends at Pimbex and do a quick check on the price. Come on, silver, 53 cents. All right, I'm going to take a deep breath. We have up, things go, it goes up, it goes down. If it's down, if it's red, we're still going to be okay. And 65 cents. All right, we're up. Why do I feel like I'm at a blackjack table or a craps table sometimes? Anyway, and we're not, because silver and gold are the opposite of going to a casino. You're guaranteed to lose at a casino, and it sure feels like you're guaranteed to win in the long run. You're guaranteed to lose in the long run at a casino. You just are. It's a mathematical certainty. Trust me on that. I've done plenty of field research, and I understand statistics. However, silver and gold, you're guaranteed to win in the long run. Think about that, okay? Think about that for a minute. All right, let me read you real quickly, and then we'll be done with, hold on here. Okay, hold on, guys. Well, let's look at her. Still, I think my favorite one of all time, and I just realized that there's a spelling mistake in this. See if anybody else sees it. That says, me leaving the coin shop before they realize I gave them paper for silver. And that's not what I wanted to show you. I want to show you this. What a great message. This really a big part of the reason why I love Pimbex. I got this message yesterday on a comment on one of the videos. Good morning, Ron. By buying from Pimbex versus MM, which is one of the big other online bullion dealers, I saved $965. I made sure to tell Pimbex's Mike and Brian, those are the brothers that don't run the company, both CPAs. I've had you for discovering Pimbex. Once again, watching and listening to your channel has saved me many dollars, worthy of my thanks. Well, thank you. I'm glad that, again, that's why I love Pimbex, right? I feel good about recommending it. I eat my own cooking, right? I was a customer of Pimbex. I own stock in First Mining Gold. I own stock in Fortuna Mining. Let's see here. There it is, DirtyMan SAFE. Oh, there is the new DirtyMan SAFE. There's a giveaway video if you want to enter the giveaway to win one of these, guys. Hold on. me show you one of these. I love this thing, by the way. This is the Dirty Girl Safe. But if you want to enter the giveaway, there's a new 3-minute video. All you have to do is leave a comment on that video that says Dirty Man. It's all one word. We're going to give one away on December 30th. Okay, where were we? Let's we're going to go to Silver Academy and see what they're saying. The Silver Academy. What are they saying about silver? Let's see here. This is why silver price doubles. Let's see, that would be $68 per ounce. Russia's metal maneuver alarms Western banks. That would be the bullion banks. That would be the 5 big banks that deal in gold and silver that have been controlling the price of silver for decades on the COMEX and the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, right? Our good friends over in London, England. Yeah, well, they're no more. I won't go there anyway. They are, I think we need to take up a collection, guys. Hold on. I'm thinking I might need to take up a collection so that we can send a couple cases of those Depends undergarment diapers to the boys and girls at the COMEX and the LBMA, because I got a feeling they might be needing those pretty soon. Okay. All right. Back to the, back to the Silver Academy. Russia's double prices double bubble. Russia's silver shift signals economic warfare. Silver poised to double in the next 6 months. Does Susie need me? Hold on, guys. Silver Susie. Nope. I thought I heard her say something. Context. Here, this is John from the Silver Academy. I've been involved in the Reddit silver squeeze movement from the very beginning, right? The big Wall Street silver squeeze movement. That was, I believe, February of 2021, over 3 years ago. He said, I write this earnest post with no disrespect for the so-called apes. Remember, that's what they called themselves, and I guess still do on the silver squeeze. Great guys, great community. But nothing the U.S. retail apes, that's the people that buy retail silver, people like you and I, okay, can compare to what Russia is launching, the ultimate squeeze. Look at this. That's the Russian silver squeeze. Okay, then he puts it into context, how natural resources, and in the 70s it was oil. Oil was the thing, right? That was the new, and we've talked about this, right? Silver, in some ways, I think a lot of ways, can be considered the new oil. Oil transformed the world over the last 100 years. Silver, from an energy perspective, solar panels, electric vehicles, all that is kind of like the new oil for the next 100 years. I've heard several people say that, and it makes sense. So now Russia, in the big announcement, right, that they're gonna, as a government, going to start a strategic stockpile of silver. Nobody knows how much. Speculation, right? So I'm not going to not going to say that Russia has plans to, take all the world's silver. That would be India. Who's doing that. But anyway, I digress. This move by Russia is a big deal because silver is becoming, in some ways, very critical. Here, listen to this. With the U.S. relying, I didn't know this, the United States relies on imports for 80% of its silver needs. It's vulnerable to supply disruptions, much like the oil-dependent nations in 1973. The Russian silver squeeze will cause silver soaring, mirroring the effects of the oil crisis. Okay? Here, Russian economist Sergei Glazov, known for proposing the gold for oil exchange, has successfully achieved the triumphant victory. He has successfully advised Russia to capitalize on silver's undervaluation relative to gold. This strategic move just before the BRICS summit. What's the date today, guys? Oh, today's the 22nd of October. I think there's like a world-changing BRICS summit. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. It starts today, right now. Right now. Susie was watching the Today Show this morning, and I asked her, anyway, I said, did they say anything about the big BRIC summit kicking off today? And she said, no. Of course, they did 5 minutes about presidential candidate Donald Trump working at a McDonald's, but no, they had nothing to say about what is probably the biggest geopolitical event in the history of the universe starting today, right? The BRIC summit. No, average Americans, right? They know more about Monday Night Football than they do what's going on with this major geopolitical event that kicks off today. I digress. Okay. Massively benefit from the ultimate silver squeeze. Russia's recent move to add silver to its state reserves, along with gold, platinum, and palladium, marks a significant shift. Let's go down. The potential for dramatic increases in silver demand from central banks and governments could create a perfect storm in the silver market. More perfect than the perfect storm we already have. The perfect storm. Okay? Because Russia is leading. Are other countries now going to follow suit? Right? The United States had a massive silver stockpile at one point, right? Back when we were smart, back when we were on the gold and silver standard. This is not out of the question. This is not just because it hasn't happened during our lifetimes. I'm 54 years old. I was born in 1970. Since I've been alive, paper money, right? Unicorn fart dust paper dollars have been valuable. Our government got rid of their silver stockpile. That doesn't mean that can't change, that these big governments, including the United States, could not take action to protect themselves by building up a strategic silver stockpile. All right, let's go to the conclusion. Dear basement dwellers, in conclusion, Russia's move to add silver to its reserve, viewed against the backdrop of historical tensions and current global economic realignments, historical tension, geopolitical tension, and economic realignments could be the catalyst for a transformative period in the precious metals market. As other nations potentially follow suit, right, we may be witnessing the early stages of a silver renaissance that could reshape global financial dynamics for years to come. The confluence, one of my favorite words, confluence, meaning coming together. A confluence is like when three rivers join together, right, and then create a much more powerful river. The confluence of diminishing inventories, industrial demand, and this new source of monetary demand creates a compelling case for a dramatic revaluation of silver in the near future. Why is this important? Quickly, right? Let's review. Confluence, diminishing inventories. Yes, we know there is a massive silver deficit in the world right now. The world is consuming much more silver than it produces. So check. We've got that one. Industrial demand. We know that's skyrocketing. Check. And those two alone are enough. But now what John is saying is that if we add in a new source of monetary demand, oh my gosh, guys, this could be out of control. Absolutely out of control. You know what? They're all wrong, right? We got James Turk saying $50 silver. We got Jesse Colombo saying $50 silver. We've got John at the Silver Academy saying double, $68 silver. Hey, us basement dwellers, what do you say? Why don't you type it in? Type it in the chat. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. Let's say 14 months from now. That would be Christmas Day almost. 2020, whatever, 14 months from now. 14 months, 1 year and 2 months from now. Where do you see the silver price? I see it. Okay. I feel it. I just don't see it. Right? That's the way. Are you like me? Like you can read all this data. You process it through that supercomputer you got on top of your shoulders, and you got a brain. So I want you now to feel. What do you feel? 14 months, 1 year and 2 months from now, what do you feel the silver price is going to be? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say this. Oops, did I do it? Here we go. Woody, wow, guys, 58.90. Wow. 62.50. 600. Silver Surfer. Yes. 214. Frank says 65. Vincent Leone, 500. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You guys can keep reading. I need to get back. 95. 127. 65. Annie Oakley. Thank you, Annie, for being here. Thank you for moderating. Thank you also to Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Do you guys know Jake? He's like famous on YouTube for silver and gold. He's a great guy. He's been in the basement here a couple times. And Big Tim, the Silver Shire. Thank you for moderating. And of course, the lovely and original, my wife, the love of mine, Susie. Thank you for being here, Susie, and for everything else you do for us, Susie. Okay, guys, we got more to cover. Where are we? Hopefully, we're still live here. Let me say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold, Canadian gold development company. If you want gold in the ground in Canada, that's First Mining Gold. They have 2 multi-million ounce development stage projects in Canada. Learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And our friends at Fortuna Mining. They are an operating, producing silver and gold mining company, silver and gold in Latin America and gold in West Africa and the Ivory Coast. And they've got an exciting advanced stage exploration development stage project in Senegal as well. Diamba Sud. You can learn more about them at fortunamining.com. Oh gosh. Okay. So what are the billionaires? Warren Buffett. We talked about him yesterday. Don't forget, Warren Buffett once bought massive amounts of silver. It was in the 1990s. But, you know, what about Stanley Druckenmiller? Look, here's the deal. Everybody knows Stanley Druckenmiller is like the smartest big money guy in the world. And look at this. This was a great tweet that came out from our friend, Make Gold Great Again. He said, a man with a higher return rate than Warren Buffett over the last 3 decades. So this guy, Stanley Druckenmiller, has had better returns on his investments, and he manages billions, whatever, you know, he's one of those guys, higher than Warren Buffett. Has just gone short treasury bonds. He's saying the U.S. treasury bonds are going down in value with 20% of his portfolio. But, and here's the little meme, but what's well known about Stanley Druckenmiller is that he's a big fan of gold. He's also long on gold. And I forget, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago we covered this. He's bought like some gold mining stocks. So this is the guy who's bigger and better than Warren Buffett, and is long on gold. Okay, let's go. Let's do an update. Take a deep breath. Last we checked, gold was up just under 20 and silver at 65. Let's see where we're at now. Okay, 60. So we're hanging in there. This is a good day, guys. I mean, I know that we want the silver price to skyrocket, right? Do you want $50 silver, $60 silver? Absolutely. We want the silver price to skyrocket, right? But we want it to go up slowly. We don't want it to just go, right? I know, silver squeeze, I talk about it. Can it happen? Absolutely. But in the long run, what we want to have are slow, steady gains in the gold price and the silver price. The reason why that is so important is because, we got 325 likes. Hey, Susie wants me to ring the gong. I always do. And we're going to get back to what we need to see happen in the gold and silver price. All right, it's been a few days since we rang the old golden gong. That's for 300 thumbs up. If the price here, let me show you. This is critical for you and me to realize. Okay, here. This is why we don't want, if you look at this chart, this is the one we looked at the very beginning. If you look at 1980, see how silver skyrocketed, but then what immediately happened? It fell right back down. Look at what happened in 2011. We had a skyrocket, right? Not as dramatic as 1980, But still, if you look at 2011, that was pretty much a very, very aggressive ascent in the silver price. And then it fell back down at about the same rate. What we want to see happen is some stair step moves up higher in the silver price and the gold price, so that as we get to 34, like where we are right now, $34, $35 silver, all the people that want to get out, they sell. Bye-bye. See you later, alligator. Been nice knowing you, right? And once all those sellers are gone, then as demand continues to come through, which it will, then we can move up to 37, 38. This can happen rather quickly. Nothing wrong with that, right? But what we don't really want to do, I mean, I know it'd be fun. It'd be crazy. If we wake up tomorrow, you wake up tomorrow morning, you go check the silver price, and it's $48 per ounce, right? It'd be fun. Don't get, I would have a big smile on my face, no doubt about it. But those spikes up like that are usually quickly followed by spikes down. So we'll be happy. We have a lot to be happy about right now with the silver price. Absolutely a lot to be happy. Let's go check out the BRICS. The BRICS meeting is today. The biggest news event. Not just news event, but probably for gold and silver investors, what's going on with the BRICS is absolutely critical, right? And the mainstream media in the United States is ignoring it. And there's a reason why, right? They tend to ignore when we're involved in wars and we're losing, and they tend to ignore when we're involved in, I would guess you would say, geopolitical economic wars, and we stand to lose, right? This should be the front page news, but it's not, right? Are we going to hear about this gold-backed trade settlement currency? I don't know. There's speculation, but at minimum, there's something very interesting going on. And I want to share with you something I discovered as I was doing research on the BRICS and what's going on. This comes from the Geopolitical Economy website, but very interesting. BRICS plans multi-currency system to challenge the United States dollar dominance. What does that mean, right? Is the US dollar gets challenged by other currencies, by other worldwide economic alliances, it's impossible for anything else to happen than the value of the dollar going down, down, down. Look, I don't like it. I'm an American. I live in America. I understand why it's happening, and I understand why it's important that I understand that it's happening and that you understand that it's happening, because we want to take moves to protect ourselves. We want to take moves to protect our families, what wealth we have accumulated. Obviously, many of us choose silver and gold to do that, but this is big, critical news. The BRICS Cross-Border Payment Initiative, the BCBPI, will use national currencies instead of the US dollar. Russia's finance ministry and central bank released a report detailing plans to transform the international monetary and financial systems. There's the BRICS from left to right. Make sure I got you on the right screen here, which I do. That's Brazil. That guy is President Xi from China. That would be South Africa. That would be India. And that, my friends, would be Russia. Those are the BRICS. The Global South orientation BRICS has released plans to transform the international monetary and financial system and challenge the dominance of the US dollar. As chair of the BRICS for 2024, Russia proposed the creation of the BRICS Cross-Border Payment Initiative, in which members of the organization will use their national currency. There's something interesting, though, buried in this about gold, okay, to trade. And this is where it gets interesting, because gold, I listened to, I think it was Vince Lancy last night on Arcadia Economics, and two very interesting things about this BRICS and about gold and silver. The multi-currency system will also include new mechanisms, not only to de-dollarize trade, but also to encourage investment in BRICS members and other emerging markets and developing economies, including a BRICS Clear platform, a, quote, new system of securities accounting and settlement and financial instruments denominated in national currencies. All right. Hold on. Before I forget, I want to tell you what I learned last night from listening, and hope I'm sure I'll get this right. If not, Vince can correct me. But it always comes back to gold. They're talking about all these different, ways to do trade. Number one, there's a big key thing here is it's all outside of the US dollar. It's all outside of the Western financial system, Visa, MasterCard, US central bank, SWIFT, all that stuff. They are divorcing themselves completely from that, okay? Number two, it always comes back to gold. Always, always, always. And what Vince said, I think it was Vince said this last night. Somebody smart said this. And it wasn't me, but I'm going to repeat it. Number one, it always comes back to gold. And number two, right underneath gold is silver. And some people, I didn't realize this. Some people say, well, what about platinum? I didn't know this, but platinum, it wears down. And correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently platinum, this is a silver coin, okay? But like if this is platinum and it gets rubbed, or if you bring it to your jeweler to get it cleaned, this is platinum. I'm a platinum stacker. That's a symbol of my love and devotion for Susie. Apparently, if this gets polished or just from me wearing it, it actually gets worn down. So it always comes back to gold, because they'll talk about, they're going to use real assets. They're going to use oil and wheat and blah, 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 blah. It's very hard to measure that, okay? It's very hard to divide that. And those things are all consumables. It always comes back to gold and silver, always. And listen to this. Look what I found kind of buried in this article that I thought was interesting. There are also plans for the establishment of a BRICS grain exchange and associated pricing agency with centers for trade in commodities like grain, oil, natural gas, and gold, which can likewise be used to settle trade imbalances. Again, all those things. Grain has an expiration date on it. Oil gets consumed, right? Oil gets used for gasoline, plastic, whatever. It's the heartbeat of the world economy. Natural gas, obviously, that's like unicorn fart dust. It gets consumed. Gold, it always comes back to gold, guys. Always. Always has. And think about this. Always will. I don't care what they say. Gold, and not just gold, but silver, right? It's been thousands of years. For thousands of years, men and women have tried to create other ways of measuring value outside of silver and gold. And none of them have worked. None of them have had the only thing that's worked for the last 5,000 years is gold and silver. I had a question from one of the viewers this morning about silver versus gold. And I'm like, the bottom line is gold and silver have always been the base of the world system. I don't care. Even over the last 50 years, I'm 54 years old. Been off the gold standard since I was 1 year old. Doesn't matter. Gold was still, I'll argue this, and you may not agree with me, and that's fine. But I will argue the fact that gold and silver have still been the base of the world monetary system. They've been like a big bear in hibernation for the last 50 years because the United States ruled the world, right? And when Nixon took us off the gold standard, the only reason they did that was because they wanted to print money. And they couldn't print money to pay for the Vietnam War and social programs and whatever, right? So they said, well, we'll just take us off the gold standard and we can make as much paper money as we want. Well, how's that worked out for you, Nixon? Right? Not well, right? The dollar, since he took us off the gold standard, we looked at this the other day. Gold was priced at $40 an ounce in 1971. Okay. You couldn't, because somebody corrected me. You really couldn't buy gold in the United States until 1976. But nonetheless, the point is, gold was $40 an ounce in 1971. Gold is 27 whatever. So that same $40 that was worth 1 ounce of gold, 40 of these smackers, Ooh, it's the daily visit from the paper dollar. Hi, everybody. 40 of these in 1971 would buy you 1 ounce of gold. Okay. What do 40 of these buy you today? They buy you 1.5% of an ounce of gold. Think about that. So you're going to sit here and tell me, right? You're gonna sit here and tell me that was a smart decision. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy. Let's go out. We need to do our daily update. We're gonna do a couple daily updates here in the basement. It's time for a field trip to our favorite place. Make sure you have your permission slip signed from your parents or grandparents. The U.S. National Debt Clock, where we can see that the U.S. national debt is now approaching $35.8 trillion. But what we're really here to look at, and we got a new feature here in the basement, is this, the dollar to silver ratio, which again has gone up. Okay, here we go, guys. Let me show you what I've said. What's that, 736? I started a new sheet. We're going to do a daily tally. So yesterday, the dollar to silver ratio was 729, and today we are at 736. You can follow along with me in the coming months and weeks. This number was as low as the 736 was as low as like 400, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago. It was actually at zero at one point. Again, that measures how many paper dollars are being created via the M2 money supply for each 1 ounce of silver that's being created. So for each ounce of silver this year that's being mined, the U.S. government is creating $736 of paper unicorn fart dust from the M2 money supply. Hold on here. Susie is requesting. I got a special request. Once the Shanghai. Okay, Lionel, anything for you, my friend. You would like, let's go out and check, or go out to the Shanghai Ghost and take a look. For those of you who weren't with us, there's our friend Roger, Bald Guy Money. Okay, guys, this is a physical market, the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And I emphasize the high because the price is always higher in Shanghai. Physical market, $36.23. All right, here we go. We're back. We got 1,000 people in the basement. This is a big deal. All right, let me share a critical insight that you want to know as a silver and gold investor. Critical. Okay, thank you, Susie. I got to blow the train whistle in 1 second. This is very important. This is a leading indicator for gold and silver that nobody else knows about, and we're going to keep it between us. Okay, basement dwellers, you're part of the club. Got to keep your lips zipped on this one. But this is real and this is happening. Views and participation in the basement are exploding. Now, I presented that to Susie. I said, do you think it's because of my new hairstyle, my good looks, my dynamic personality? And she said, no. All joking aside, this is a real indicator. I've been doing this for about 3 years. Every single day I get up, I work hard, try to present good information about the gold and silver sector. And I love you. I love the people I've met. But we have seen a massive spike in viewership, okay, of the channel. And I can tell you this is don't spread this one around. That's always indicative of more and more people coming into the silver and gold sector. So for those of you who are new, welcome. We've got some seasoned veterans that have been with me from the very beginning. I got an email yesterday, right? Guys like, I was with you from before you had I used to have a blindfolded bear back here that said 2,500. And when gold hit 2,500, we took the blindfold off. Here, hold on a second. You can see it. Hold on 1 second. Oh boy. There it is. Okay. But the fact that we've got so many more people, and do you guys want, let me ask you this question. I need your help on this. Do you want me to put a new blindfold on the bear or should we leave it off? You know, Susie's been asking me, I'm like, I don't want to, I don't know, 3,000, 3,500, 10,000. I don't know, whatever. It worked last time, 2,500 on the bear. Where was I going with all that? Anyway, Anyway, oh, the viewership is going crazy on the channel. Okay. And that's a big sign that there is a wave of new people. Now, remember why that's so important. This is so important as a silver and gold investor to realize this. And this includes all the new people, right? The seasoned veteran basement dwellers, right? The ones with their stripes and the new people. We are still, even right now, just such a small, minute portion of the overall population. I mean, we are minuscule. And look at how well the silver price and gold price have done, right? Look at how the mining stocks have kind of hung in there as of late. We've done that with a very small crowd of people, right? Just and as more and more people come in, it's not going to take a lot. Just the smallest uptick in people, and we're seeing what's happening already. Guys, when we get, we're 1 in 100. We're probably more like 1 in 300, the enthusiast. When we get more people coming in, right? When we go from being 1 in 300 people to maybe just 1 in 100, that's like 3 times. It's very, very critical. So as this channel grows, right, those of you who've been around for a long time, I salute you, right? We went through some hard times. And the new people, you're very welcome. There's some great people here who can help you out, answer questions, all that good stuff. Hold on. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go check out the silver price. And we got more. We got to talk about the Costco dads. So hold on. Susie is telling me to look at the silver price. Press the Pinbex magic button. All right, baby. We're up 73 cents. Look at gold up 22, almost $23, $27.41. Do you realize? I'm going to be talking to David Hunter. You know David Hunter. He's saying we could get like $500 silver at some point out in the future, right? Like by the end of the decade, $500 silver. But I last talked to David Hunter 5 months ago, and I was just curious about it. Was like May 25th. I went back and looked. When we talked last, the gold price was $2,200. Now we're at $2,700. I mean, it is absolutely incredible what is going on. Hold on here, guys. I got one more thing we need to talk about if I can find it. Here we go. Okay. This is from Yahoo Finance. Mainstream media, our favorite. Here's one economic message from the Costco gold bar craze. Woo, baby. Look at gold. Let's go look at silver real quick in the futures market. Oh my gosh, guys, it's happening. And this is really healthy price activity in silver. Futures, December 24th. This is the futures price. Okay. There's the spot price, the immediate price, and then there's the futures price. But this is like the most popular contract right now. So it's 2 months out, $34.73. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. All right. Hold on. Now it's not why we were here. Let's learn about the secret message that the Costco dads are sending us. Okay. It's all about trust. The nation may have left the gold standard in 1933, but Costco shoppers have proven that gold is a red hot buy. Okay, hold on. Let's see. This is by Grace Williams. We like you, Grace. So gold is a red hot buy. You think, Grace? You think you're a couple years late on that one? But nonetheless, sure, it's an investment, but also it's reflecting this is Yahoo Finance, this yearning for real money. Economist and senior fellow at the Independent Institute, Judy Shelton, told Yahoo Finance executive editor Brian Sozzi on a Yahoo Finance's opening bid podcast, gold is kind of a surrogate for the real economy, and it represents commodities, but also that traditional role of money you can trust. The widely popular Costco bullion was introduced to Warehouse Club members last year for 1 ounce bars. This product has flown off the shelves, with Costco raking in a reported $200 million per month. Whoa! In gold bar sales. Demand has been so great that now they're offering platinum as well. According to Shelton, the gold rush at Costco likely has personal meaning to the financial skittish consumer. Over the past few years, consumers have been accustomed to watching inflation spike as high as 9%, or, unofficially 19%, while the US dollar lost 20% of its purchasing power. This hasn't exactly stoked Americans' confidence. This sudden rise in gold's popularity could also relate to consumers' overall trust in precious metal and what it represents. She says, quote, "It's a meaningful unit of account. It works across borders. It has universal value, and it's highly recognized." Okay. Oh, boy, there's more. You guys want to hear more? Precious metals are surging. We know that. UBS chief investment officer said that the gold price rally has further room to run. UBS is like the biggest, oldest Swiss bank in the world, citing potential for more interest rate cuts. Everybody thinks gold's going higher. All right, guys, everybody thinks. Now, Judy Shelton also said something that I think is a foundation of what you and I need to realize as gold and silver investors. It was so good that I made it into a little card that I keep here on my desk. Gold, and we can say this about silver, and silver are links to reality. This, hi everybody, is no longer a link to reality. This is in big trouble, unfortunately. Right now, not when this was the case. Remember, there was a time. We're going to get some focus here. Come on, baby, focus. There was a time. Why won't that? There it is. Do you see that at the very top? Silver certificate. There was a time when this was based, and it says at the bottom, I'll read it to you. I'm going to read you a little story. This was the United States of America, $1. This one here was made in 1935. Most of us weren't born then. And here's a little story at the bottom of this dollar. You know what it says? It says $1 in silver, payable to the bearer on demand. That means if you had this in your possession, you're the bearer. Okay. Hello, Mr. Bearer. And it says right there on the bottom, just so you know that come on, focus. I need to get a camera that focuses faster. Let's see if we can get this. I'm not going to give up. We're going to be here. There it is. Why is that shadow? We're not going to stop till we get it. Okay, I'm not going to stop. I'm warning you, internet. Okay, there we go. We're coming closer, slower. Well, underneath $1, it says in silver, payable to the bearer on demand. Those were the good old days. Susie had said something to me. Hold on one second. I need to yell at her to see what she said. Oh, I got a super chat. Okay, guys. Man, you guys have been super generous lately. Clifton Moberg. Trump wears gold basketball shoes. I want some. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you for being here today. Let's for fun. What the heck? Let's go out one more time. So silver was up 73. Come on, silver. 72. We'll take it. What's most important to me, and I want to say thank you one more time to all 1,000 of you who joined. Yes, you. Don't leave. I'm talking to you. It's a big deal. We appreciate you. We want you to know that you're always welcome here, right? Rarely. And we've had to ban some people from the channel. There's always a couple, but I mean, there are such great people and you're a part of it. Okay. That's important, right? Good people. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks to the moderators. Thanks to Susie. Everybody have a great day. Okay.